to accessories, right? At minimum, you should really be using a polypore staff. They're, well, polypore staff and staff of life, the exact same stats. It's a fairly reliable weapon. I've never had any problems with it. Don't know really. It's a good weapon, cheap, accurate, and just generally useful. Another one that's good, apart from the Staff of Light, is the Ancient Staff Enchanted. You need to have done, I think you need to have done the Elite Desert tasks, but it's basically a 50k staff which has the exact same stats. Bit of an annoyance to replace, one I don't use, but I've seen it used to quite a great level of success. Now moving up a wee bit is of course the Arundel Battle Staff. The difference between Polypore and Armadillo, in my opinion, is negligible. 1694 to 1783. It's not really that big a deal. Now, it's good for risk fights. It's a 10 to 15 mil staff. You can use that. Appearance-wise, it's probably my favourite staff. Look at that. It's awesome. I definitely love that staff. Love the style. But, not really worth it in my opinion. Now, the next one I like is the Chaotic Staff. And that's a good one for if you're World 2 PKing, you can protect it. It's very accurate, very strong, and certainly the best two-handed staff, but that is the best weapon for two-handed PKing, which is what I do. I don't really do wand and book PKing. Now, onto the, as I said, I don't really do wand and book PKing, so I don't really know much about the other ones, but the Aram's wand and the Aram's book have good accuracy. They're quite expensive though. The most common one I see is a wand of treachery and a Grifflick orb, and that's quite effective. I've been beaten a few times by that. And if you have the money and you want to do one PKing, I'd definitely advise that. It's probably the cheapest. I'd stick to World 2 PKing so you can protect the wand of treachery, but quite an accurate and strong method that. Next up would be, of course, the Virtus wand, 117 mil. So getting KO'd with it would be a bit of a loss to most people. I'd advise using that with a Grifflick orb if you have a spare and you're very good at keeping your prayer up. Don't use it on World 137, that'd be a very bad idea. The problem with Virtus wands is if you're new and someone sees you with them, they will just attack you without warning, so it's a dick move on their part, but oh well. Now onto capes. Now you can use like the Ardone Cape 4 and all that for free repairs and free boosts, but the ones I would advise either a skill cape, doesn't need to be a magic cape, it's a skill cape, because they have a 2% chance for crit on all of them, and a prayer bonus and armor bonus, and it's effective, it really helps. Now, I use the God Cape you get from the Mage Guild, because it has the highest level crit, and it's got good armor, cape anyway, and don't know, quite like the colour green, it's a very nice colour. But that's the only ones I could advise, really, for Mage at least. It's not really a very important slot. Some people just don't use capes at all. I just sort of do it because I'm a bit OCD. I like to have everything filled as if I can. But yeah, either a God Cape from the Mage Guild or just a skill cape. They both work pretty much as well as each other. For boots and gloves, I just got Ganondorf. They're cheap, they have good stats, and You can buy like 100 of them. You can use them with any style. You can use them with melee, range. It's 20k for both the boots and gloves, and have probably the best stats of boots and gloves that are not like Rage Fires or Virtus boots. Okay, moving on to amulets. Now, this one I see a lot, and I hate it, but the P-neck camp. It's got no stats, but if you're low health, it'll boost you back up to like 5k health. I mean, I've hit over them quite a bit because of the new damage system, but if you are not wanting to die, which most of us aren't, it's an adequate choice. You can sit and camp that. You'll get called a noob a lot, but it'll keep you alive. Like, it can be out-hit quite easily, but it gives you a chance. Now this is my preference, the Amulet of Glory. It's got 3.9% chance of crit. It's a very cheap amulet, and my thing is it's got a teleport, so I can get back to Edgeville very quickly. I mean, I do a lot of them where I kill someone and then I get PJ'd, so I have to teleport away. That means I can get back, get some more food, and come back and get my loot. It's got fair stats and very cheap. On to the next one. The Zardoman's Hiss. Sorry. Magical crit is the highest chance of any of them. It looks pretty snazzy. You'd think, considering the backstory of it, has some sort of negative effect, but it doesn't. But yeah, it's the best mage one, but it has no teleports and it has no Ulteria special. Another one's the Amulet of Fury. Now I use this one sometimes because it's got a better crit chance than the Glory, but it's also got a higher risk. And that's just, that is basically just the only point of the Fury being here. It is just a better risk item, so it increases your chances of a more valuable kill. Okay, next on to rings. The Ring of Life. The Ring of Life, it can save you when you're low health, it can teleport you away. I'm putting this on here just because some people use them, some people like them. I don't. I despise them. Either I'm about to KO and I'm risking it and it teleports me away, or I'm about to KO and they're not risking it and it teleports them away, and I'm like, oh, well, great. Wonderful. Now, the Seer's Ring. Got very good chance of magical crit, 2.7. It's 1 million gold. It's not massively expensive and it's helpful. I'd advise this to anyone who has not done the quest The World Wakes. If you've done The World Wakes, I advise you use this, the 6th Age Circuit. It has 12 armor and gives 2.7% magical crit, the exact same as the Seer's Ring, but it is free and it costs nothing. You can, you'll need an Ardougne teleport, but that's it. Takes 20 seconds to replace, costs nothing, and you get the little feeling of joy, the fact that your opponent didn't get anything from the ring slot. Now I'll be right back, got to start a new recording again. Okay, on to inventory setup. Now this is the setup I use, right? Rocktails, and at the bottom some soups. Because when I get to there, that's when it's right at the end of the fight, and it gives me a wee edge just to beat. Rocktails can be replaced with sharks, tuna potatoes, all sorts. If you can't afford rocktails, which I can understand, I bought 2k a minute ago and it cost me like 6 mil. I'd advise using rocktails and rocktail soups because it's just the best stuff you can get. Now, rocktail soups not so much because you can only buy 10 every 4 hours, I think, so you couldn't really get a very good stock of them. Like, I've got 2.6k rocktails and only like 80 soups. Okay, moving on from food, of course, overload. Super restores. I use them just because I have more of them than prayer pots, but I don't really need to use super restores. Prayer renewal. I find when I'm doing SS fights, soul split, it keeps my prayer up a bit better than my opponents. Of course, the adrenaline pot. This is very helpful. It's a 25% adrenaline immediately, and it's great if you're getting a bit beat and you want to just get asphyxiated or something. Just something to let you get your health up and make them, you know, pull off a wee bit more. Now I use Ice Barrage, so I've got Water Runes and Blood Runes, and Ice Barrage is the highest base damage spell, apart from Fire Surge I think, but the Ice Barrage has an added extra of freezing your opponent so they can't run away, basically. Now, I use Ice Barrage, but you can replace that with Blood Barrage, Rock Barrage, any of the barrages, Fire Surge, you know, Polypore Strike, any spell you want really, because they all have pretty much the same base damage, and really it's more the abilities than the actual spell you use that do the damage. Now I use house teleports, because if you teleport to your house and you die there, which I've done loads of times, you just appear outside. You don't need to get a grave, don't need to do any of that, so it saves a lot of hassle. Also I have my Gilded Altar in my house, so it means I don't have to waste prayer pots. I can just pray there. And that's pretty much just my inventory. You know, you could replace the overloads with a super magic and a super defense, or you could replace it with whatever you want, just normal magic or extreme magic. You could place the super restores with prayer pots. You could just get rid of the prayer renewal. If you have adrenaline pot, super Guthix brew does give you an adrenaline boost, and it doesn't require any herblore level. I mean, these are all things you can just replace. I mean, the teleports, you don't need to bring them if you don't want to. You can replace them with any other teleport. I mean, you could go to Ardone if you really want. And that's pretty much how I set up my inventory.